We're here for Time.com, and we have the great pleasure today of interviewing Helen Mirren about her new book, In the Frame. Helen, welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, so as I was saying, a couple of our readers would like to marry you. One of them wants to invite you over for tea.
You said 5 readers wanted to marry me. Were you exaggerating?
I might have been, slightly, yeah. There's somebody who wants to invite you over to tea, and my favourite reader was the one who said that unlike most women who lose all sex appeal when they get old, you have not. And I thought that was a lovely question to have.
Backhanded compliment, isn't it,
so,
really, like most women. I don't think most women do lose their so-called sex appeal. It just shifts into a different arena. You know, it's more to do with life and appreciation of life, and I think it's the perception of the person who's making the comment, really. It's their perception has shifted, I think, in some way. I mean, there's no question, you know, full-on sex appeal is for the young, it is. That's nature, anyway, you know.
This is from Amanda Cusack in Piedmont, California. Do you think it's important for celebrities and the like to contribute their 2 cents to political, ethical, or economical problems?
I like the celebrities and the like. What is the like of celebrities, I wonder?
Quite unlike.
I've used my voice as an actress with the media to publicise certain issues. I've been involved with Oxfam, the proliferation of this illegal sale of small arms throughout the world, which is causing such devastation, was one issue I am involved in quite deeply, and the other was Uganda, the war in northern Uganda. So there are 2 issues that the media like to turn away from while they're busy talking about celebrities, and the only way you can sometimes garner their attention is by sending someone like me out as a frontsperson. So yes, I think it's an absolute legitimate way of using the fact that for some peculiar and incomprehensible reason the media are more prepared to talk to me about Uganda than an investigative journalist who's lived in Uganda for 5 years, the person they should be talking to. But we do have a kind of an access, and I think it is a legitimate use, yes. Politics is a different thing. You know, as a free person in a democratic society, I don't see why an actor or a director or a writer, someone who has a high profile, isn't allowed to express their view politically the way everybody else is. That's simply, to me, freedom of speech issue. We have our opinions. If people ask us our opinions, we're allowed to express them.
Actually, somebody did ask you your opinion here. They said, if you were an American, would you be voting for Hillary Rodham Clinton?
I find American politics quite hard to comprehend exactly how they work.
I think most Americans do.
Most Americans do, especially with South Florida and redo and all the rest of it. So complicated. I just about got my head around it. And also it's quite hard for Europeans to really understand the power of the president. You know, it's quite the president has so much power, much more power than our Prime Minister does, for example. And we don't quite comprehend the scale of that power. I would love to vote for all of them, quite honestly, or not vote for any of them. I'm quite cynical in general about politicians. Politicians always come in on a wave of hope, and then, of course, it all goes terribly wrong every single time. Sometimes it goes a lot wronger than other times. I would love to see, obviously, I would love to see a female president in America. But I would also love to see a charismatic black president. I mean, I thought John Edwards was a wonderful candidate. So it's difficult, really. Would I vote for Hillary? I don't know whether I would or not right now.
Matthias Kruzik of Vienna, Austria asks, was the most difficult point in your career?
You know, actors go in and out of difficult points, and, you know, you do a hurtle from elation to depression all the time, because you're constantly being criticised. It's part of what you do. You're constantly looking at other people getting jobs and thinking, why don't I have that job? Sometimes it's very difficult to read the Sunday papers or the Variety or something, and everybody else seems to be working, and you seem to be the only one who's not being asked to do anything. So you're constantly insecure and unsure of yourself. In my mid-30s was probably quite a difficult time. which was the one time really when it should have been the best, because I was now experienced and ready with all my knowledge of and training. I'd been working for 15 years and I was like ready for it, and I just wasn't, for some reason. It was one of those moments when just the kind of work that I wanted to do just didn't come my way.
I'm going to say Mython in Dublin seems to have read your book. She says, do you have any affinity with your father's Russian heritage or any interest in the current political climate there?
Yes, I have a great interest in the political climate in Russia. I was there not long ago, and to my goodness, that's a complicated place, and very interesting to see where that's going to end up. And it is a country that needs a strong leader. It is. It's so vast. I can't comprehend it as a European. I know America is vast, but yes, of course. I mean, when I go to Russia, I realise I look Russian. People come up and speak to me in Russian, and they assume that I'm Russian because I do actually look quite Russian.
Have you ever played a Russian? I can't remember.
Oh yes, I've played Russians. Yes. Month in the Country I did in New York. Chekhov, I've done some Chekhov, not a lot. I've done a play by Gogol. I've done quite a few Russian plays, yeah. So yes, of course. I mean, growing up as an immigrant, and especially in the situation that I was at home, where we were very much encouraged to forget our Russian heritage as children, I didn't make a thing about it, but I've always felt, of course, I'm genetically, I'm half Russian, so of course there is an affinity there.
If you could go anywhere tomorrow, says R.D. McClanagan of Greenville, South Carolina, where would you go and why? Rather than doing media appearances. I can't imagine anything more preferable.
I'd go to England and I'd find a little green corner of England with a river running through it and a tree to sit under, and I'd just sit there for the afternoon with a book and a pillow to go to sleep on.
Do you have a book in mind?
I've just been given a book about Russia, actually, that I'm really looking forward to reading, called White Blood, so I'm very excited about that.
Okay.
I'd take that with me.
Take that. And is it sort of a Sussexy England I'm hearing you describing, or a sort of a Yorkshire?
It's not a Yorkshire, although Yorkshire is incredibly pretty. Yes, probably Sussex, Gloucestershire, probably the Cotswolds, or Herefordshire, or really any little corner of England, really, actually. Mm.
Okay. Peg Wimberley of Victorville asks, have you ever found a role hard to perform because your views were so opposite of the character that you were asked to portray?
Yes. I mean, in particular,